Now that you understand what the goals of the sprint review are, let's talk about how you can get the most from it. First, I sometimes hear teams refer to the sprint review as the sprint demo, and they even treat it this way. I want to be very clear when I say this. The sprint review is not a demo. Demos are scripted affairs, often working with carefully prepared data designed to portray the work the team has done in the best possible light. While demos may have their place in software development, they are not what we are after in a sprint review. A sprint review is an honest and transparent sharing of the current state of the project in order to elicit the most useful feedback possible. Since it's only by giving stakeholders the chance to review what the team has truly accomplished, can we be sure that the project is moving in the right direction. For this reason, we won't script the specific steps that will follow when presenting each feature, nor will we take the time to prepare cleansed data that we're confident can be loaded into the system. Instead, we'll simply use normal customer data that the product will be expected to handle once it's live. Second, I'd like for each member of the development team to present the work that they've completed in this sprint. While your first instinct may be for the product owner to present the team's completed work, many development teams find that presenting their work in the sprint review not only gives them ownership of the work that they're creating, but it also helps them better understand where that work fits in the broader context of the overall project. As a matter of fact, knowing that you'll ultimately be responsible for presenting your work at the sprint review forces you to think about how you'll present your work while creating it, which is a great way to catch bugs or workflow problems before the feature is delivered. Next, Dave, I'd like for you to send out an email to stakeholders of this project announcing the sprint review this afternoon. In addition to the time and location, I'd like for you to include a list of items that the team will be presenting, as well as any necessary context behind each item. For example, are any of these items brand new features, or are some items enhancements to existing features, and if so, why did we make those enhancements? This email will help those stakeholders that have a vested interest in these specific items self-select into joining us for today's sprint review. Often in organizations who are new to Scrum, it's unclear specifically who should be attending the sprint reviews. This often leads to a large group of people attending the first 2 or 3 sprint reviews, but the majority of them not finding value in them since the specific items that they're interested in weren't discussed. What inevitably follows is a significant drop-off in attendance at the following sprint reviews, making it difficult to get the necessary feedback that we need to help our team move forward. When you send your invite, you'll want to make it clear that while everyone is welcome, stakeholders with a specific interest in these items are particularly encouraged to attend. Not only will this help remove some of the ambiguity among members of the organization regarding whether or not their attendance is necessary, but it will also help prime those attending with the content that we'll be discussing so they can formulate constructive questions ahead of the session. In fact, during the sprint review session, I recommend that you start by giving the attendees a few examples of some of the categories of feedback that you're looking for. This will help keep the session on track by encouraging attendees to keep their feedback constrained to the items that are actually being discussed, and will also help reinforce the expectation that this is intended to be an active feedback session instead of just a simple demo. In a good sprint review session, you're likely to receive a lot of feedback. That's a good sign because it means that the attendees are very engaged in the review. But I want to warn you that not all feedback is valuable feedback, and there will even be some feedback that initially seems valued during the review, but appears less so once it's evaluated against the broader goals of the release. For that reason, I would suggest that you refrain from committing to any specific piece of feedback during the sprint review before you've had the chance to truly consider its broader implications to the project. Remember that at the end of the day, you are the product owner for this product, which means that you are the only one who is allowed to set the direction of the team. Thanks, Alan, answers Dave. That all makes sense. I'll send the invite as soon as we've selected the specific items that we'll be presenting. One more question though. How long should I tell our stakeholders to expect the sprint review to last? Alan answers, the Scrum framework specifies that a sprint review for a 1-month sprint should be time-boxed to 4 hours, but it's proportionally shorter for shorter sprints. Since we've just completed a 2-week sprint, let's time box today's sprint review to 2 hours. One more thing before you go, says Alan. I recommended that the development team present the work that they've completed during the sprint, not the product owner. Admittedly though, this does make the sprint review a bit tougher to facilitate since it requires a bit of planning ahead. To make this happen, I'd like for the team to take 5 minutes after this discussion to identify the items on the Scrum board that you'll be presenting this afternoon. Then work together to order the items in a way that minimizes switching between the individuals presenting to reduce any downtime in the review. As everyone nods in agreement, Alan finishes. Great job, everyone. It sounds like we'll be in great shape for this afternoon's sprint review.